Hello, it's Tom Donald from the London Contemporary School of Piano. Today, we're going to look at some chord voicings that make people listen. Some chords played in a particular way with a particular voicing that connect to people, make a difference. Sometimes it's not what you play, it's how you play it that really makes the big difference here. And we're going to just go through some quick wins today. This is a quick win video. It's not going to take up much of your time. So let's get started. If you're a fan of our work, by the way, you should head on over to our website, contemporaryschoolofpiano.com, to pick up our free resources kit which accompany these videos. There's a crib sheet for this quick win video, chord voicings that people want to listen to, that really just grab people's imagination, and they've stood the test of time. I've just got a couple to quick fire us to get us started. That's all we're going to cover today. So this is a very typical gospel-like progression, like a walk-up progression. And I see students look at a lead sheet with these chords and they make the mistake of doing this. That's a nice progression. You're just stepping up the scale: C major, D minor, E minor, F major. But playing it like that just sort of takes all of the heart and soul out of it. And there's such nicer ways we can play these chords. We can even add sevenths to it. But if we're going to add sevenths to it, we don't need to do it like this either. The problem with this is all just moving in parallel, and it's sort of less interesting. So why don't we do some nice things with it like this? Same chords, different voicing. And isn't this such a nicer voicing? So here I get a really nice balance. I start with the C major. I've removed the fifth note of the C major chord. By the way, the fifth note is not compulsory. It doesn't have to be played. There's no rule that says you have to play all three notes in the triad. We can live without that fifth note. It's totally passive. So this voicing of a C major chord, totally acceptable in this case. And not only it's acceptable, it works so much better. Now I'm going to move just this top note up to an F, keep the C there, and then go to a D. So what's this? It's a D minor 7. Rather than this sort of clunky D minor 7 like this, I've got my thumb on the 7th, my third finger on the third note of the chord, and then I've got the D there in the bass. C major, D minor 7, a lovely slash chord here, a C major with an E in the bass, but I've removed the third note in the right hand because it's in the left hand. Very lovely, cozy sound that is, very optimistic and hopeful. You know, if I just do that, if I see a slash chord and play a C major over an E like that, I'm doubling the third. Too much sugar, that is. So we just need to use that third more carefully. And then here we go. We've got our F major here. Let's just play this a few times. Such a quick win, hey? Now I'm adding a few ornaments in the right hand. Yeah, things like that sound great. You can add that as well. I can even blues that first chord just by slipping this in. You'll never do this again. Yeah? Much nicer. Let's do this in some other keys. B flat major. Let's keep ourselves on our toes. This is a great way to practice our scales, by the way. What about F major? D major. always endlessly fascinated by how every key has a different flavor in music. The textbooks might say each key is an equivalent of each other in the circle of fifths, but actually there is a real quirk in our tuning system, in the equal temperament Western tuning system, that actually means every key is not quite the same. They have their own individual flavor to them. It's very hard to describe it in words, but it's there. So that's a lovely voicing. Instead of just walking up in parallel with those chords, a much more sophisticated, stripped down voicing. Less is more, but it's just more smoother. Yeah, it's just a lovely voicing. It makes people want to hear those chord progressions. Here's another one. So this is a chord progression that is totally overused in commercial music, in popular music. It's been done to death. It's the 1, 5, 6, 4. You hear it again and again and again and again and again and again, and that means that artists have had to look for ways to make this chord progression interesting, or pianists have had to find ways to make this interesting, because you'll just get bored of hearing the same thing over and over again. So I'm going to play this chord progression. You would have heard it many, many times before. It's a 1, 5, 6, 4. If I play it in the key of C major in triad format with normal inversions, it'll sound like I'm playing the beginning of Let It Be. And thousands of other songs. There's a very famous video on YouTube by the name of the band. I think they're called Axis of Awesome, or Awesome. I think I'm trying to remember the exact name, but they do a video where they basically go through all the 1, 5, 6, 4s and the hundreds of thousands of pop songs that use it, all in like a couple of minutes. It's very funny and comical. But this progression is overused. It's used a lot. So we're going to use a clever voicing to make this sing a bit more, make us do more with it, make it more interesting. And this is a really cool trick. It's where what I call the double suspended chord. So what is a double suspended chord? It's a term I've made up, but basically it's where we use a suspended second chord. And if you haven't used this chord before, it's a friend. So introduce yourself to this chord. Rather than playing a clean C major, I'm sort of going slightly off that clean tone by having the second note instead of the third, and I'm not going to resolve it to the third. I'm just going to keep it hanging. 1, 2, and 5. Just keep it hanging. So the double suspended trick is where I just stay on this suspended 2 chord on the C, regardless of the chord changing. So my bass is going to play the 1, 5, 6, 4, and the right hand's just going to stay on those 3 notes. And we get this effect. Now you could see this as 2 different things. We could see this as C suspended second, C suspended second with a G in the bass, like a slash chord, C suspended second with an A in the bass, and C suspended second with an F in the bass. But actually what happens is it automatically formulates other chords within the 1, 5, 6, 4 progression, even unknowingly to the pianist. Their muscle memory is just staying on those chords. We actually, by happy accident, end up creating all of these lovely revoicings of the 1, 5, 6, 4. So this really ends up being C suspended second, G suspended fourth, A minor with an added fourth, and some sort of F6 with a 9 or a second in it, an added second in it. Pretty cool, hey? I mean, I didn't even really think about what the chords were. I just stayed on that suspended second. Let's do this in some other keys. What about E flat major? B flat major, same thing, different key. I can even improvise a bit in the right hand, spin around those suspended second notes, I should say. I can spin them around to get some movement in the music. So I can really take advantage of this voicing and turn it into a rhythmic groove construct as well. G major. A major. So if you come across this chord pattern again, please do it in this more interesting way than just play it in triads, because in triads it's just, it just gets boring because we hear it so many times. So that's just a way to spice it up, and that will make people, draw them in, make them want to listen to the chord progression. And of course we can use this suspended trick on even more inventive chord progressions as well. So I particularly like it in situations like this, where I'm going to change the bass a little bit. I've got C to F. I'm going to use some notes outside the C major scale, notes from the C minor scale, like E flat. So I can get progressions like this. C suspended 2, F6 with the 2 in it. This is like an E flat with a 7th and a 6th in it. So I get all these really lovely chords. This ends up being an A flat with a flattened 5th in it, or I should say a sharpened 4th and a 7th in it. This ends up a B flat with a suspended 2nd and a 6th in it. I haven't even moved anything in the right hand. So I can get all these lovely, lush chords without really exerting a huge amount of physical effort. So you can really experiment with these voicings. Some nice ones to play with there. Okay, we're now going to have a bit of a switch now to the blues. This is a really cool trick. So from the C7, I have the 3rd and the 7th here in the left hand. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to take this note down a half note, down a semitone to an E flat, and I'm going to take this B flat, down a half tone, down a semitone to an A. And what do I have here? So I've gone from C7 to F7. But the F7, this is the 7th note and this is the 3rd note. So I flipped around the 3rd and the 7th. Here I'm playing 3 and 7, and here I'm playing 7 and 3. How elegant is that? So smooth. So much better than doing this. Takes up a lot of energy and it doesn't actually sound that musical. It just sounds like Happy Birthday is about to start again. Instead now we're doing this. That is such a wonderful way to transition between two dominant 7 chords. And it's such a classic combination, C7 to F7. You'll see it on lead sheets all the time. One 7th chord to another 7th chord, a 4th interval apart. All you have to do is have the 3rd and the 7th in the left hand. Let's jam it out a bit. And I can do this as a 12-bar blues. What about a G7? I can do the G7 like this. 7th and 3rd. F7, 7th and 3rd. C7, 3rd and 7. G7, 7th and 3rd. Let's do this in another key. What about a key like B flat major now for a blues? So we're going to start again. Now I'm going to reverse this around this time. I'm going to start with going from the 7th to the 3rd to the 3rd to the 7th. I'm just going to flip it around. You can hear it's such a more compact voicing for those 3 dominant 7 chords. It just transforms the whole situation. So that's another great voicing. So here are some quick wins for your playing. Put them into action now. Go to our website, get the free resources kit because these chords are part of it. These quick wins, these great voicings that will make people really want to listen to your playing. They'll make you want to listen to your playing. They will really wake up those old, tired chords that are too clunky. We've taken out the clunkiness today and we've really brought them to life and we've revitalized them with these voicings. So go to the piano, start trying them right now. Get them into the muscle memory. If you're interested in more of the work we do, such as our coaching programs and our complete musician program, do drop us a line. You can also visit our Complete Musician website, which is the link below. You'll find out about our next enrolment times for the program. It's a great opportunity to work with me directly and really improve your overall musicianship. And I'll see you soon.